Good afternoon. Welcome to The Hook, episode 49. This week is, MLR news and notes for week 8. And we had 3 fixtures in Major League Rugby and then USA Rugby Eagles versus the wonderful and outstanding Russian Bears. I don't know how you say that in Russia, but there you go. So let's get into it without further ado, guys. The first game to talk about is the game I watched second. The game I watched first was Seattle versus Austin. We'll get into that. But this be what it be. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. So, what about you guys? So, with how this is going, we've got a few things. Glendale defeated the SaberCats 37-24. That's pretty intense, right? And, as we went forward with this game, and you're going to say Raptors unstoppable, right? Great hashtag. Love that stuff right there. And it's just the truth, really, for them. We really haven't seen them get tested for, I guess when you think about it, for a while. But this was the biggest showing of their depth. I had a lot of questions about their depth early on because I thought, were some cracks starting to show, like with some of their injuries. But if you look at this, they only have one of their current active Eagles on their roster. Dylan Fawcett made the final 26, but he was released to play because the Eagles were in Colorado. But he was not starting on the weekend for the national team. And if you've seen him play over the last 2 weekends, his form is he's finally back to where he was during the ARC, which is very important as we go through, because I'm pretty sure James Hildebrand fractured or broke his wrist, or at least he injured it. I think we'll get a release on that later in the week. But his performance was really good. The biggest thing for Glendale was the connection between Maximo De Acheval and Harley Davidson. That was pretty tremendous. Harley Davidson, right early in the game, there's a cross-field kick from fly half Maximo De Acheval, who had taken his first start in the position from fullback, where he played pretty much all season. And there wasn't anything gone out of that position. It was, if anything, you gained something when Will Maggie stepped out to go up to the Eagles, and Maximo just brought something a little different. So him and Will McGee on the pitch at the same time in the playoffs is going to be awesome to watch. So the vision that Harley Davidson displayed for the Raptors this weekend, as he saw for his first try, he was able to dot down a crossfield kick from his fly half. And, he has a hat trick for the weekend. He was declared MLR Player of the Week. And, really nothing to say about the Raptors. They held their own on when it came to scrummaging, and you had 2 real quality scrums here from both the SaberCats and the Glendale Raptors. The way they ran their offense, the Raptors just plugged along in both halves. For the SaberCats, again, the connection, it did improve. Whether it was Slater or Murphy on the pitch at scrum half, it has been better than what it's looked like for most of the season. I think Slater getting a yellow card in the first half really screwed up their rhythm and what they had planned to attack with. You really didn't get much out of them offensively until the second half. And, you see Alex Elkins, you see what he can do on the pitch, and just the chemistry, the way it worked this week. He had 2 tries. He's a very physical winger. He's 6'4". When he played football, he was a linebacker at Oklahoma State. You let him cut down a bit, and he becomes just a tough person to bring down. He's 240 pounds, 6'4". Like, you just great left winger right there. Moving on to Austin versus Seattle in Austin, Texas on Friday night. That was, I guess, what you could term as the grudge match, but it was just sort of an ugly affair. When people, I don't know what was going on for Seattle. Their starting scrum half was on duty with Canada, so Peter Tiberio answered the call and played 9 for most of the match, and their connection seemed very off. Will Holder was not kicking very well at all. It was a windy night, but it just seemed whoever was on that side of the pitch was going to have issues until William Rozaleka scored for them. The way this was going, Seattle committed multiple infringements to the point where you wondered if Timothy Guillemot was going to score 20 to 30 points by himself. But the way it worked is that side of the pitch just hurt everyone, because in the second half, because they got 5 points from William Rozaleka, they were able to put up 15 more as the game went on. And that ends up edging out Austin by a point, and we roll into San Diego versus New Orleans. You see tremendous improvement from the props here with Nathan Sylvia at tight head. The last time he'd gotten a run out, he didn't really do so well, but he improved very well, played, a great game up against Canadian international Hubert Bidens. And then off the maul, he takes the ball in for a try in the second half. Their connection was really good with Nick Boyer and Ty Leader running that show. This was the game that they needed to win, and now they're in control of their own destiny. They win the next 2 games, and they're the 3 seed. They'll probably win one of the next 2 games, and they will be in the playoffs as either the 3 seed or the 4 seed. If they lose this weekend to Austin, again, controlling their own destiny, they have to beat Utah at Utah, but they're in the playoffs. So that shows you the race for spots 3 and 4 in Major League Rugby. The 4th match we'll talk about this week is Russia versus the Eagles. And, we beat them 62, not 32, but 62 to 13. 49 points. That was a tremendous victory. We got beat a few times up front in the scrum. They're very physical. But the boys answered the call. I like the front row of Eric Fry, Joe Tafate, and Paul Mullen. I think this next week we'll probably see T. Lamostele start against Scotland, and that's an intense front row right there. Lamostele, Joe Tafate, and Paul Mullen. Paul Mullen played about 60, 65 minutes, proving in his debut that he is a test-level tight head. Really good to see that Houston SaberCat just crush it from that position. He was all over. He was around the rucks. He had some really good carries. It's going to be really good to see that quality level of player with the Eagles. For the most part, we just outclassed the Bears, from our flankers to our entire back line. Athletically, we are a tremendous mismatch, which is what I think Gary Gold was going for this side that he named. And we've got speed, we've got physicality, and we just crushed Marcel Brocky as a 6'4", 220 winger moving out from the center. He dances on a dime. His footwork was on point. And then, he turned the burners on and he scored 2 tries. Joe Tafate with 2 tries. The captain, Blaine Scully, a try. The vice captain, Nate Augsburger, a try. Cam Dolan, a try. Everybody gets a try this week. So I hope they look at the film, they see the problems, because there was a lull, especially in the second half, where we played really poorly, but the Russians also played really poorly. Some odds and ends. USA Rugby got sued with a complaint was filed in Boulder County by Doug Schoninger, the former proprietor of Pro Rugby North America. On earfulofdirt.com, there is the full complaint that can be read. There are several claims of relief. And that about wraps it up for this week. I'll be back tomorrow with a preview of Eagles versus Scotland. I will be traveling on Thursday, so I won't have the roster in front of me. I'm Aaron Castro for The Hook, episode 49. See you guys later.